Alright team, well if I sound frustrated in this video it's because it's my third time attempting to record it. For some reason it just keeps stopping and not working, so if I can't get this one working I am going to go to just using OneNote. Okay, so yesterday we looked at types 1 and 2 quadratics, and the key factor about those ones is that you had a plus c at the end, which means you either had the double brackets, you're going to have plus plus, so x plus something multiplied by x plus something, or to get that positive c at the end, the other way you can do that is to have x minus something bracket times x minus something, because a positive times a positive is a positive, and a negative times a negative is a positive. Now today, we're going to look at types 3 and 4, and both of these have a minus c at the end. Now how do you get a minus c? Well, that's produced by the last times the last of the double brackets, and to get a negative you either have to have a positive times a minus or a minus times a positive. So you're going to have mixed signs in your bracket. So that's the key idea. If you see a minus c, when you factorize, you're going to have one bracket with a minus in it and one bracket with a positive in it. So let's get into it and see how this works out. Let me give you an example here. Let's say we've got something like x plus 4 and x minus 1. Now what happens when we expand this is we use FOIL, we get x squared outers minus x inners plus 4x. Now that ends up being positive 3x because minus 1 plus 4 is positive 3, and then at the end we've got 4 times minus 1, which is minus 4. So you can see straight away that we've got a plus and a minus, plus minus, so this one here is that type. Now I'm going to switch these signs around and do another one. So instead of having a positive 4, I'm going to have a negative 4. Instead of a minus 1, I'm going to have a positive 1, and we'll expand that and see what happens. Well, we get x squared again. Outers is plus 1, inners is minus 4. 1 minus 4 is negative 3, so we get negative 3x, and then minus 4 times 1 is minus 4. Okay, so you see that we're getting minus minus, which is this one here. So this is this type here. Okay, so how do you tell the difference between type 3 and 4? When you've got type 3, you know you've got mixed signs because of this minus here, but you know that out of the two numbers that you have, the positive one is going to be larger because when you add them together you've got to get a positive answer here. So you know you've got minus 1x plus 4x. Because you've got a bigger number that's positive, it ends up being overall a positive. Now with type 4, because you've got a negative here, you know you've got mixed signs in the brackets, one positive, one negative, but because you've got a negative, when you add the two x values together, you know that the bigger number has to be negative, and that's why we've got a minus 4 here. Minus 4x plus 1x is minus 3x. Now I'm just going to do a few examples for you because I've got other things to do and I've been trying to record this a number of times. Let's see how we go. And of course, if you do have any questions, I've got the email address that you can contact me on, and we can do some after school online tutorials, or you can even pop around. Okay, so here we go. Let's say we've got x squared plus let's say 8x minus 9. Okay, so you can see that this is this type here. We want to find the factors of 9, so we've got 1 and 9 and 3 and 3, and we know that 1 has to be positive and 1 negative, and the difference between them has to be 8. Right? We've got to somehow get 8. Well, you know that's never going to get you 8. This one is, you want the bigger number positive, because we've got a positive answer here, and the smaller one negative. So we're going to get x minus 1 and x plus 9. Now if I changed one thing about this, let's say that I had a negative 8 here. Now you see that it's this type here, type 4, and the only change would be we'd turn this one into a positive and this one into a negative, and now we'd get our negative 8x, but we'd still have our negative 9 there. So I hope you can see the interrelationship there. Let me give you another few examples. Let's say we've got something like this. X squared minus 8x minus 33. Now, because we've got a negative at the end, it's a minus c, which means that we're going to have mixed signs. One of the brackets will have a negative and one of the brackets will have a positive. Now we look at the factors of 33. What are our factors of 33? 1, 33, and 3 and 11, and we've got to get a difference of 8 between them. So you can rule out that. That's never going to work. 3 and 11, there's a difference of 8 between them. Now we need a negative 8, which means that the bigger number has to be negative. So we're going to have a negative 11 and a positive 3. Now when we expand this using FOIL, x squared, f, o, outers, 3x, I, inners, minus 11. Now what's 3 minus 11? Negative 8. And then finally, minus 11 times 3 is negative 33. Now if I change one thing about this, let's say that I said now we've got a positive 8 here, how would that change my factorization? Well, this time I've still got the same difference between my factors, but I need a positive, so I'd have a positive 11 and I'd change that to a minus 3 and I'd be away. Okay, another one. Let's say we have something like this. X squared plus 5x minus 14. Straight away we know that we're dealing with type 3 because we've got positive minus. The minus at the end tells us that our brackets are going to have different signs. One bracket's positive, one bracket's negative. So it's going to be x minus something, x plus something. Okay? Now, we look at our factors of 14. We need a difference between the factors of 5, right? Difference is 5. So obviously 1 and 14 are right out. 2 and 7 are our only other factors. And yeah, there's a difference of 5 there. Because we've got a positive 5 here, we know that the bigger number must be the positive 1. So it's going to be a 7 and a minus 2. X squared, f, o, outers. Positive 7, inners, minus 2. 7x minus 2x is 5x. And lasts, minus 2 times 7, minus 14. Now what would happen if we changed the sign here to a minus? How does that change things? Well, now the difference is still 5, but it's a negative difference, so we would need the bigger number to be negative, because it's now this type here, and this would have to be a positive. Right, I hope this is making sense. I'm going to do one more, and then you've got, I think, 36 examples to try. And you're welcome to try those in pairs quietly if the supervising teacher's happy with that. Okay, let's say we've got something like x squared minus 5x minus 50. Now, this is type 4, right? We've got minus, minus. This sign here at the end tells us that we're going to have mixed signs in our bracket. So we've got an x minus and we've got an x plus. We need factors of 50 that have a difference of 5. Well, we've got 1 and 50, and we've got 2 and 25, and there's definitely not a difference of 5. No, we don't have 3. Do we have 4? We've got 5 and 10. 5 and 10. Yes, there's a difference of 5 there. Since we've got a negative, that tells us that the bigger factor is going to be negative. And then we've got a positive 5 here. Let's just do a check there. X squared, yes. Outers, 5x. Inners, minus 10x. 5x minus 10x is minus 5x. Minus 10 times 5, minus 50. Yes, we've got it. Okay, one last thing. What happens if we change this to a positive? Well, we're going to be using the same two factors, but the difference is positive this time, which means we need a positive 10 and a minus 5. Okay, I know this is not an easy subject. I know that some of you are going to be struggling with this. That is why I've left you my email address, and that is why I've offered online tutorials if you're getting stuck. So make sure you don't feel embarrassed about asking for help. If you need any extra help, I'm totally here for you. I want to help you achieve and understand this. Have a go at those exercises if you're stuck. If the teacher lets you and you're allowed to talk to the person next to you or whisper, that would be great. And yeah, send those questions through. Alright team, good luck.